On the morning of September 9th, 1973, a local man arrived to clean the Gurudwara in Sri Ganganagar, Rajasthan. He found the heavy wooden doors creaking open to reveal 3 caretakers lying in pools of blood, the rooms entirely ransacked. When police examined the victims, they noticed a specific method of attack. Every man had been struck right below the ears with a heavy weapon. This wound signature matched over 70 unsolved murders across the region. The locals had already given the attacker a name, Kanpati Maar, translating to the one who strikes beneath the ears. The sheer volume of these nighttime attacks paralyzed rural communities across Rajasthan, Haryana, and Punjab. People were so terrified of the dark that entire extended families would huddle into a single locked room the moment the sun went down. This single killer managed to terrorize millions across 3 states. He operated with near impunity because the Indian government and local police forces were distracted by escalating border tensions and the looming threat of war with Pakistan. Investigators had to rely on fragments. SP Shyam Pratap Singh gathered bloody footprints at the Gurudwara and tracked a specific railway ticket purchased from the town where the murders occurred, heading toward Bathinda, Punjab. Police then tracked down the few people who had survived an encounter with Kanpati Maar. Using their descriptions in separate rooms, investigators managed to produce a consistent sketch of a thin man wrapped in a blanket. In July 1974, police spotted a man matching that sketch at the Bathinda railway station. He was living under the name Ratan Lal, working a quiet job as a cycle rickshaw driver. Under questioning, his cover collapsed, revealing his true name, Shankar. Rather than denying the accusations, he laughed at the investigators, demanding they untie his hands and feet so he could comfortably explain exactly how he killed everyone. Shankar willingly confessed to the murder of 72 people, casually noting that many of his attacks hadn't even been reported to the authorities. With the perpetrator identified and willing to talk, the investigation shifted from forensic evidence to the internal mechanics of his motives. Shankar Kajapati was born into a middle-class family in Jaipur in 1952. He showed zero interest in school, prompting his parents to cut off financial and emotional support, leaving him to survive by stealing food and loose change from neighborhood temples. The labeling theory of crime describes a feedback loop where an individual internalizes negative labels given by society, like thief or failure, accelerating their criminal conduct. Once branded a criminal, Shankar embraced the identity, escalating his petty thefts into violent home invasions. His motivation gradually turned into outright sadism. Despite the massive brutality of the Gurudwara massacre, Shankar only bothered to steal 19 rupees before walking away. The progression from parental abandonment to petty theft and societal labeling created a path where violent escalation became his primary interaction with the world. His defense attorney, Maniram Jalpa, later provided a visceral look into Shankar's psychology through their private legal consultations. Shankar admitted that the physical act of taking a human life triggered a massive neurological high. He described killing as an addiction, a literal drug, and claimed that the agonizing screams of his victims sounded like a song to him. Chasing a psychological thrill rather than a financial payout, his targets lost all logic. He would attack whoever was walking past him in the dark, without any underlying motive. His cruelty was paired with a specific delusional routine. After committing these murders, Shankar would travel to Haridwar to bathe in the river Ganga, believing the sacred water would wash away the sins of his actions. Executing strangers for a dopamine rush, and then attempting to scrub the guilt away with a quick religious ritual, points to a mind severed from the basic mechanics of human morality. The state moved against Shankar with a speed that left little room for procedural delay. He repeatedly confirmed his own guilt in open court, telling the judge he simply couldn't endure the police interrogations anymore. This detailed confession allowed prosecutors to bypass the evidence discovery process. Within months of his arrest, a lower court sentenced him to death. His lawyers pushed the case up the judicial ladder, reaching the High Court and eventually the Supreme Court of India, which upheld the sentence. After the President of India denied his final plea for mercy, Shankar was executed in Jaipur on May 16, 1976. Just before his death, he offered a single piece of advice to the public. "I have murdered many people without reason. Now don't become like me." The legal system delivered justice in months, yet that rapid execution was ultimately a reaction to a devastating force that years of isolation and labeling had already set in motion.